Hi guys, so today I want to talk to you about Solana, HBAR, ADA, why you need to be very prepared in 2025 as we head into altcoin season, which has kind of started but it's not quite yet in full force. So firstly, I just need to go through this disclaimer. Please read with care. This video is not financial advice. Crypto is volatile and highly risky. No results are guaranteed. This content is for experienced users only. A full legal disclaimer is in the description. So let's jump into it. So first and foremost, Solana, we can see $195. And I want to quickly just jump into my personal story with Solana. So one of my friends told me to buy back here in 2021. I didn't have any money because I put all my money into ADA, which was a mistake. But again, we still got it all in here, all the way up and then all the way down. I ended up cashing out somewhere down here, making a loss. And that kind of upset me, but what I did do after that is I did some more research during this period. And then when FTX collapsed, I realised that Solana was actually severely undervalued. Because Solana was, I believe FTX held a lot of Solana as part of its collateral. So when it went down, it basically meant that despite the fundamentals of Solana and the tokenomics, because of the fact FTX held so much, the price was basically just suppressed and it went all the way down. So what I did is I ended up buying during this period here, and then from this period here I've held all the way up and I've staked it all, and I still hold it to this current day. So I'm currently in a good position, but again, I had to learn from my mistakes previously. Again, as we go in here, why Solana? Why is it a good investment to have? So first thing is it's very fast and it's very cheap, and that's from personal experience as well. It works really well, a lot better than ETH, a lot better than Bitcoin, and it doesn't cost anywhere near as much. Secondly, strong ecosystem growth, lots of DeFi, NFTs, games, memes, lots of things building on it, and that does help to attract users and investors. So a lot of people, a lot of eyes on Solana, which is really good, and they're currently building. Building is what you need a project for it to survive, have a good narrative, and ultimately grow. Again, spot listings, ETFs, VanEck, 21 shares, etc. The list goes on. Looking very, very positive. Institutions are looking at Solana. You might be thinking, yeah, that's cool, but I don't care. What price is going to hit, mate? Well, let me tell you. So we have to benchmark against something, and Ethereum is the one that we're going to have to do it. Purely because Ethereum is essentially one cycle ahead. It's the king of all altcoins. And Solana is one of the highest ranking market caps, so we don't have too many other ones to compare against. So, looking at this, the top for ETH back in 2021 was 552 billion market cap, and that was before any institutional investment. From here, Sol currently has a market cap of 105 billion, and this would mean that in order for it to hit ETH's last run market cap, it would need a 5x. Is that possible? I believe it is, for many of the reasons mentioned above. And it also has the benefit of being a newer coin. So if a coin is newer, it's generally less established. It generally has the ability to fluctuate more. It's slightly more risky and more volatile, but it means it kind of has more upside because it doesn't need as much money for it to move to come in. Like Ethereum will need 552 billion for it to double, whereas Solana will need 105 billion, meaning it's kind of got more space to grow, if that makes sense. And again, like I mentioned before, if I was you and you were buying here, I still think it's a good investment. However, I wouldn't be waiting for the $500, $1,000 to sell out. I would personally have your price points written down. So for me, for example, $300, I'm going to sell 20%, $350, I'm going to sell another 20%, 400, 20%, etc. And then I'm going to leave 20% just to move back in case it goes up to $750 to $1,000. Which it most likely won't. It can, but you've got to play safe. At the end of the day, we're here to win. HBAR, another one. A coin which I personally have bought, was buying kind of in the bear market around this time, not really understanding it much. Bought it because I was watching some YouTube. A lot of people were talking a lot of good about HBAR. I didn't really know, didn't think much about it. And it's shot up, it's done a 5x. Back then, I ended up cashing out some of it, putting it into a meme coin, whilst it's gone down, and now it's starting to come back up again. So HBAR is looking really, really positive. Again, it's got big big backers at the moment. It's got partnerships with Google, IBM, Boeing, through its governing council, and that's exceptionally positive, because when you think about it, like, these businesses are not going to be investing in something and partnering with something that they think is going to do badly, right? It's a business. They want to make money. Everyone wants to make money. Secondly, similar to Solana, we've got many kind of ETFs coming through. And again, SEC's acknowledged it. It's going to be delayed, potentially, I think, the listing, but I think it's kind of inevitable that actually it will come through in the end. And again, low fees, high speed, yada, yada, yada. All this good stuff makes a very good storm. So where do I personally see Solana, HBAR going? Market cap wise, HBAR sitting just shy of 12 billion. Therefore, I think looking at the price, I think a $1 HBAR is very possible. We'd have a market cap of around 43 billion. And however, I do think there will be quite a big resistance here, because it's a psychological barrier, because it would be like, everyone would be going crazy. Oh, $1, $1. So if you're in it and you're planning on buying it, definitely take profits before then. I do think it will smash past it, but again, there you go. Like I said, nothing saying it can't go higher. If the conditions are good, we get a blow off top, but I think we might be able to see it reach more of a 75 billion market cap, or even higher, which would send the price, significantly higher. You're talking potentially, 120, 130. So it's on the cards. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's worth considering when you're kind of looking at your cashing out strategy. So ADA, looking at ADA at the moment, it's finally starting to do something. I had a friend tell me to buy around this region, the same friend who told me about Solana before, so I put all my money into ADA back here. Didn't know what profit taking strategy was. I kind of rode it all the way up and all the way down, but I've ended up DCAing all the way, all through the bear market, so now it's finally starting to do something. Again, ADA did reach a $3, and again we have seen ADA starting to move up now, so the kind of return, similar to Solana, is going to be kind of a bit less now, but it doesn't mean that we still can't get a really, really good return. So next thing to know is that ADA hit this $3 before it had started on its roadmap, and at the time it was primarily speculation. Now it has things like Hydra, the Bitcoin OS integration, and again we've got ETFs and crypto, so it's looking pretty good. Another positive thing as well is we've got 562 million people now active in crypto versus 300 million last run, so it is growing. We are nowhere near kind of the peak bull run where we are, and we saw the numbers before, so as we can see, we are in a really, really good stead here. So again, based on that, as we did with Solana earlier, how can we estimate the price potential? Again, top for Ethereum, blah blah blah, same thing, 552 billion. So we look at that, ADA currently sitting at 32.5. If it's able to reach just half of what ETH did last run, it would be a 17x from current levels. So I think realistically, at conservative level for ADA, I think somewhere between $5 to $7 by the end of the year, somewhere between kind of Q4, maybe spilling over into Q1 2026. I believe we're probably going to see those kind of levels, and cashing out, I certainly will be within that range. And again, doesn't mean I'm necessarily holding for the $7, but profit taking will occur much earlier, as in I'm probably going to start around the $2 mark, $2.50, $3, etc., because I want to make sure that I win, because being in for all this time, I want you to win as well. So I don't want you necessarily to hold for any of these numbers here that you're about to see, but just want to let you know kind of what's possible. And for a bull case, we can potentially see at $8 to $12 if we have a complete blow off top. And for this to occur, everything would need to be perfect. Quantitative easing would have to be in full force. Bitcoin would need to be in $250k. ADA would need to maintain a 4.5% market dominance, and everything would need to go perfect. We'd need the interest rates as well to dip, so people to take up more money, put on risk on assets. So again, come back full circle, ADA somewhere between $5 to $12, I would say. Don't hold for that. Cash out before. Take your 20% and leave the last 20% to Moon. But overall, yeah, hopefully this is useful, and good luck to you all.